um, I met him at I was at Chevy's in Arundel Mills. Actually, I had a showing in Baltimore, so on the way back, I was starving. So I was like, to help get me out of Baltimore, because I didn't know where I was at anyway. I was like, well, I know if I go to Arundel Mills, then I'm right down the street from where I need to go home. And lo and behold, I was eating, just minding my own business. I heard this young man behind me talking about, things he was doing or trying to do. So before I left, I just introduced myself, gave him my card, and he's actually like this up and coming like rapper,
Hmm.
and but like a real up and coming. He was flying to um audition for Warner Brothers like that next day, and
Wow.
like I found him on Instagram, and like sure enough, like he's in some car lot with like Bentleys and Lamborghinis, and like how he's in LA now, and it was just really, but he was a really nice guy. He appreciated me just talking to him, and then I was letting him know, like, hey, if you're really taking off or you need assets, you know what I mean. You should be building your asset portfolio. Don't just buy, lifestyle stuff. Make sure you buy property. You know what I mean. And so I actually have them set up in a search now for a retail, which is a question I wanted to ask. I can do it later, but I have two residential searches for him, and then a commercial search, and but it was the business card, and even sitting there with my mask on, I was like, should I even bother? Should I? And then I just thought of Shay and Jasmine, and I was just like, all right, let me handed them the card, conversation. Now I haven't closed anything yet, but it's just the power of, I'm a realtor. I know things, you know, you are going to need to invest in things that I can help you with. So let me make the introduction, and it worked. But those business cards, you know, yeah, in the physical card too, like here's the card. So just, once you get your cards, hand them out. I'm getting close. I haven't fully given out the whole box that I originally got yet, but it is definitely dwindling down. I am getting better at handing out cards.
It'll be my pleasure to reorder your next box. Um, if I can jump in there real quick, guys. You know, I was doing a training with two gentlemen yesterday at the office, Caramon McPayton and Matthew Henderson, and so we were just going back again. We were just going back and forth, and I was allowing them to role play with me. Um, they were giving me some of the challenges that they were meeting with people who were afraid to basically put their money, put their bread out on the water, so to speak, and make a real estate purchase. So what I want to do, and that's why I'm really encouraging you guys to come to the Working with Buyers workshop on Wednesday at 11 that we're doing on Zoom, because I'm giving those nuggets away at that time, and I'm kind of going through them. But one of the things that we talked about was, and what was able to convince them as this fictitious buyer that they're dealing with, um, was that he couldn't afford not to invest in real estate. And it's kind of to what Curtis said, don't just put your money into lifestyle type of things, but you want to have a real asset. 90% of all millionaires, billionaires on the face of the planet started out buying real estate. So, all of these little things that I'm going to be able to talk to you guys about are so important. But this is not the format. I'm not going to steal the thunder for Realty Talks, but I know we have some other things to do, but please, if you want to, working with buyers is not just working with buyers. It's really about talking about real estate. It's talking about clients. It's talking about how we bring people into our world, so to speak, and then how do we groom them, and then how do we mold them and get them investing and buying in real estate. And so that's what I want to say. So guys, make sure 11 if you're available Wednesday at 11, jump on the Zoom call for working with buyers. It's more than just working with buyers. It's a whole lot of nuggets. The pages that I'm going to go over next week is the main page that if you master this page, these 11 little bullets, that I'm going to give to you. You'll be able to talk to anybody at any time regarding real estate and convince them that they need to work with you.
Sounds good. Thank you, Mr. Porter. Um, Jasmine, you had said if we wanted to chime in, the one thing that I consistently tell to anybody that I am working with is how much I appreciate our team, our brokerage, because of the patience and the care that we take, especially you all model with our clients. I say that often, and I often talk about how much easier it is for me to work with this brokerage because I don't have to worry about my integrity. I'm one of those folks who I'm very careful about what I do with people, and I see things in gray as opposed to black and white. And I do my best not to cast aspersions or say anything negative. And it's really easy to do with this brokerage because you all encourage that. You encourage us to do the best. And I'm out here today because my computer decided to die, and it came back up in the repair shop, and I was able to give out a card or two while I was here. So, wherever you go, whomever you're speaking with, give out your cards, and that kind of thing comes back to you. It may be a year later, as I just got one of my clients to actually raise their hand a couple of weeks ago after I saw them last summer. So these things that these little nuggets that Shay and Jasmine are sharing with us are really important, and they really help to grow your business. It may be slowly, but have your patience, and like Curtis says, be in for the long haul, and you will see that things will begin to grow, and you'll be amazed at how they start snowballing once they start growing. And so that's my 2 cents for today.
Those are some very good pointers, D. Those are very good pointers for everybody. There you are. So one of the things that I'd like to encourage us to do, and Mr. Porter has already spoke to it, with our sphere of influence. Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great. So with our sphere of influence, we cannot exhaust our sphere of influence enough, because even if we think just with regards to the number of people that we know, that's probably quite a bit of people. But then that starts to grow exponentially when you think about the number of people that every single person in your sphere knows. So I'll just give you guys a quick testimonial. I remember when back in college days when I graduated from college and, I was looking for a job, that somebody in my sphere of influence connected me with the person who gave me my first job out of college. When I wanted to go into pharmaceutical sales, somebody in my sphere of influence connected me with somebody who was a manager for pharmaceutical sales. When the Lord was leading us into real estate, it was somebody in our sphere of influence that, encouraged us and that sowed into us in terms of education and all that good stuff and gave us direction as to what to do. And since we've been in real estate, it has truly been, our sphere of influence that has really carried our real estate business. And I say that because we'll talk about so many different marketing strategies that you can do, and all of them are effective. They're effective on their own, and they're effective if you choose to do, two of them at a time. But the one that is going to yield you the best return on your investment of time is going to be your sphere of influence. So as it pertains to the people that they have to like you, they have to trust and believe you. So those things you've already accomplished, them knowing you already, and most of them are already going to like you because they're friend or family member, colleague, former, employer, employee, or whatever the case may be. You've already kind of overcome some of the hurdle. And based on NAR's numbers, they tell us about the return on investment or the close rate for people who are from your sphere of influence versus people that are from your other marketing endeavors. And it's a 50% chance that that's going to be a conversion rate if somebody's from your sphere of influence. What does that mean? That means that, hey, Curtis, if you reach out to all of your family and friends and they connect you with somebody, that person, say they connect you with 2 people, one of those people is actually going to work with you. So that's very different than the marketing that we'll talk about as well, because there's some things that we want to kind of have in play in the background while we're nurturing our sphere of influence. So I want to make sure that we know what those returns are, the return on your investment of time and money and all those different things, so that we can nurture the lead source that's going to give us the highest return on our investment. Okay, guys? So even for a brand new agent, there's so many people that you know that you may not even realize. So from your hairdresser to the mechanic, I know one of you were saying you were getting your car fixed, or, you know, from the person that babysits your kids, the people that are in the same social organizations, whether it be a fraternity, sorority, your younger siblings, their friends' parents. You know what I mean? The people you went to school with, the people that are in your church, the people that you see every single day. All of those are people that if you needed to get in contact with, even if you needed to, you know, just go to the service, might know a person and say, well, I actually don't have that person's number in my phone. Hey, I see you all the time. How are you today? I was looking through my contacts and I thought about you and I realized I didn't even have your number saved in my phone. What's your contact information? And you put them in your phone. Now, I would like to say that when I began real estate full-time before Shay came on board, my marketing efforts, and this is a true testimony, my marketing efforts were all external. So they were targeted away from my sphere of influence. They were targeted to all the people I didn't know. So you want to talk about somebody that did the expired listings. You want to talk about somebody that did the short sales. You want to talk about all the different things that I'm teaching you guys how to do. That's what I did. And those things really work. When Shay Porter came on board, Shay Porter brought along this fierce reaching out to people that he knew. And to be quite honest with you, it trumped, you know, all of the marketing that I was doing for people that I did not know. So it, you know, kind of 6 in one hand, half a dozen in the other. Even if you decide to do some of the marketing campaigns that we're going to talk about, because they all work, I want for us all to hold on to marketing to our sphere of influence, no matter what else we choose to add on to that. Does that make sense to everybody? So we'll add one other marketing activity, just one, but the one that you want to hold closest is nurturing your sphere of influence. So now let's just talk a little bit about what that looks like. And Shay has already unpacked some of those things for us. They're not anything new to most of us, but they're things that we need to kind of remember to do on a regular basis. And Dee already said that she did it this morning, passing out a few business cards when she was getting her car fixed. And Curtis already gave us a testimonial that he passed out his business card, sitting there with his mask on in COVID, you know, determining whether or not to have a conversation. And now this person is a lead source for potentially multiple properties. So got a buyer lead, and the guy is potentially looking at residential as well as commercial property. So this type of stuff works. So what I want to say is anybody that you meet, they're now included in your sphere of influence. Okay. So the goal is for you to meet new people every single day. Meet people, have conversations with them, connect with them, give them your business card. If you can hand them the physical business card, that's great. If you can't, do not allow anything to be a deterrent. We've talked about, so each person has been sent their electronic business card. In order for us to order your business cards, we first sent the electronic one. So you approved it, we captured it, we sent it to you guys. And that is something that you want to make sure that you send out to people in the event that you cannot give them a physical copy. But then I want to take it a step further. I want to say that for every single person in your phone, they should have a physical and an electronic copy of your business card. Okay, so what does that look like? How many, let me ask a quick question. Curtis, how many people do you have in your phone? Roughly.
I have no idea. I, I'm sure it's a couple hundred, you
Okay,
know. Yeah, I'm sure it's a lot. I have, yeah, no idea.
okay.
It's
Damaris, how many people?
probably much more than that, Curtis, I'm sure.
So it probably is. And I was about to say, what is wrong with me? Because my phone did this crazy thing a couple of years ago before I had to get it replaced. I had over 4,000 people. Now that it's done, whatever that strange thing was, I have about 2,200 people in my phone. But what I want to say to each of us is every day you should be adding people to your contacts. So as you went out and you met that person, you gave him your information, he should get, the guy, you two should exchange information, and you make sure that you put that in your cell phone and then upload it into the constant contact. Because what's the point? What am I getting at? Every day, your sphere of influence should be growing. Okay. So you can start out at 200, you can start out at 50. I remember we had an agent that had like 30 something, and we have an agent currently that has like 30 something people in their contact list. That's totally fine if that's where you're starting, but that's not okay if that's where you end, because every day it should be growing. So as you have contacts with people, put that information in there, reach out to them, make contact. So each person that's in your phone, you want to make sure you send them a text, greet them. Hi, just thinking about you, checking on you. I know there's a lot going on in the midst of COVID. Wanted to make sure that you're doing well. If you need anything in real estate, remember, I'm here to help. Send them a copy of your business card. So that's what I want to challenge each one of us to do, because this is one of the areas that I realize that for whatever reason, it seems like it's more difficult for agents to overcome asking their sphere of influence for business than it is for them asking people they don't know. And for whatever the reason that is, it's something that I want for us to break through. So for the rest of 2020 and moving forward, because the people that are going to champion you are the people that already know you. So that message I want for each of you. So start, if you can start today, that'll be great, but we'll start following up on a couple times per week to see how many you've sent out. We want every single person in your phone to get a text message from you and get a virtual business card. And with that text message, you need to ask each one of them for their updated information. Hey, I'm updating my contacts, and I recognize that I don't have your email address. I don't have your property address or your birthday. I'm updating my contacts and want to make sure I don't miss a birthday. So, send me that information. They send it back to you. Now, what are you going to do? After that, I want you putting it into constant contact so that you have an email captured for each one of them. And then we're going to take it a step further, because each of you got a minimum of 2,500 business cards. And the goal is for you to expend that entire box on a yearly basis. We know we say we give you your first 2,500 free, but we will be happy to reorder them for you, because we know that if you exhaust that box, you're going to be doing very, very well. So what am I saying all that for? I'm saying that when you get those the property addresses, home addresses for your sphere of influence, now I want you to take it a step further and handwrite a note. Put your business card in there and send it off to them. Okay? So that's what we're going to be doing, just making sure that we do a deep dive into our sphere of influence in real estate, because that will really open the door for you guys to get so much more business, so much business that's under your nose. So I know Shay and I, we've had the experience before, and everybody probably has. So, this is going to probably hit home for a lot of us. One of the worst feeling things in real estate is to know that you had a relationship with somebody, but they worked with somebody else to buy or sell their home. And if they do it and you've been diligent to follow up with them, well, that's one thing. But if they do that and you say, well, you know what, I was thinking about reaching out to them, but I didn't even call them. I knew I should have called them. Or, I didn't even text them, or I didn't, keep myself top of mind with them, then that's something that we end up kicking ourselves for. So that being said, that's a movement that we're going to do moving forward. making sure that every single person in our sphere of influence has our electronic business card, they have a physical copy of our business card, and they're in our constant contact campaign, because that's going to be the foundation of your real estate business. Okay. Your real estate business is as valuable as your book of business. That's what your book of business is. And that's how we're going to grow your book of business, by you capturing information, making contact with people, and all of those things, and being consistent to do so. And it's not going to be a challenging thing for you to do, because these are people that you already know. Okay, so that being said, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, because there are a couple of other things that will just add to those foundational things. And while I'm sharing my screen, Mr. Porter, if you have anything you want to add, go ahead and chime in.
I just wanted to say, you know, Jasmine talked about, you know, my approach, which is the low-hanging fruit, your sphere of influence. And one of the important things for you to recognize is that everybody that you add to your contacts becomes part of your sphere of influence. So your sphere of influence, you're going to hear us say that a lot, but even if you just do research in marketing and research in marketing strategies, when you're out doing sales, any kind of sales, the first people they tell you to go practice on is your family and friends. They're the most gracious people normally, in the business sense. I know one of our agents who's about to close on the home with her mom and dad, and it's her first buyer sale. And her mom and dad purchased a property through her. Of course, they had already, you know, been, you know, owners of homes before. So, you know, just me working with her and encouraging them to not just want, you know, they wanted to spend all their money. That's what I was saying to them. They didn't want to, you know, write offers and ask for closing help and those type of things. But I said, well, you have to let them know it's your job to try to save them as much money as possible. And I tell you, this transaction has been like amazing. In addition to them not wanting to pay closing costs, we got about $10,000 worth of closing costs for them. Then they didn't want to ask for repairs, but we put about 17 items on the repair list, and they repaired everything for them. They gave them a free home warranty. They said we could buy our own home warranty. So they got a home warranty. Then they got the appraisal back the other day, and the appraisal comes in about $5,000 over the price that we got the property for. So they just been making money all the way around, and this is her first buy deal, so it's good for her. It came from her sphere of influence. And I'm saying all that to say, you know, just be encouraged to reach out to your family and friends, because I'm gonna tell you, that's the most painful thing in the world, to go to somebody's housewarming, who you love, who you've grown up with all your life, and they're excited, and you have to be excited for them, of course. But at the same time, you're wishing you would have had that business, because everybody there wants to know who helped you buy this house. And you're sitting there and it's not you. So I don't want you all to be in that situation. Reach out to your family, friends, and to your sphere of influence, your neighbors, your neighborhood. If you don't know the people in your neighborhood, start walking, knock on doors, say hi to people, introduce yourself. But yeah, you want to definitely make sure that you get the low hanging fruit, and the easiest people to get are the people that you already know.
I second that. So now I want to hear from you guys. So I mentioned 3 things that we need to make sure are staples that we do for every single person in our contact list. Who can repeat them back to me? If you can repeat them back, just go ahead and take yourself off mute.
All 3?
Yes. Or just one. If you have one, then your colleagues can help you with the others.
Okay, so what I wrote down, well, I wrote this down as my to-do, was to send a text out to everyone in my contact, send a message. So I I was trying to debate whether, so I'm a little behind, guys. So, not sure if you can see me. I think you can. So, I was supposed to send out a greeting text to my contacts, and I have not done that. And I plan to do it. So I'm saying all this because I was listening to you, Mrs. Porter, and you were saying to send out a message about COVID. So now I'm over here thinking of how can I twist everything all together, like with my greeting and COVID and my business card at the same time without it being kind of overwhelming. But to answer your question, what I wrote down was to reach out to everyone, just let them know, like, during this time of COVID, I'm thinking about you, and if you have any questions about real estate, I'm here to help, and to also send out your business card.
So
So I think that's two.
So Damaris, what I want to say to you is that, okay, so we do have some standard text campaigns. You want to send them out one at a time. So you want to the first one you want to send out is, hey, I'm thinking about you. I want to update my contacts, and I don't have your email and your birthday. That's just that simple. That's just something simple. Then what's going to happen is they're going to respond back to you. Hey, here's my information. How you doing? I'm doing well. Still doing real estate. Do you know anybody that's interested in buying or selling? I know these are tough times, but a lot of people, the market is actually great. Really, so it's like a conversation. It's not like you send it all at once. So I just want to make sure that we talk about that kind of strategy too. So you just have to have your when the reason why I say text, because if you send it out to mass people, you're going to get a whole bunch of responses, and you're going to have to kind of know how to respond to each person, because they're all going to kind of come back with you with a similar type response. Hey, here's my information. How you been doing? Good. Still working in real estate. Need help with the business. Do you know anybody that's interested in buying or selling? You follow what I'm saying? So it's a back and forth exchange. And then they'll be
Okay.
like, I don't know anybody at this time. Well, I'm going to shoot you my card. Would you be so kind as to send it out to your people, your family and friends that you talk to, just to let them know I'm a real estate agent that you know. So now they're reaching out to people. So you just started that exchange. You got their information. That was the first step. Then the second step was, in the conversation, you let them know you're doing real estate and you're still doing real estate and you still need help with business. And then the third one is, hey, here's my card. Here's my e-card. Would you share it with your family and friends to help me out? If you can't, if you're not willing to buy and sell, well, can you at least help me out? That's the third step. You follow what I'm saying? I hope everybody can hear
Sorry.
me.
Yes, I got you.
Yeah, okay, good.
Clearly.
I was
So that's what it is. It's not an all in one. You don't want to overwhelm them, like sending a whole bunch of information at one time. It's like you really want a response from them.
Gotcha.
Cleaning up my contacts. Don't have your email and birthday. Please send it to me. I just sent that to like 50 people. I think I did like 1,000 at one time. It was the worst mistake I ever made. But I think I did 1,000 at one time the first time, and my phone literally died because people just kept responding. Here it is, here it is, here it is, here it is, and I was like, "How you doing? How's the family? Doing real estate?" Boom. So I'm just cut and paste. So it was ridiculous. I want you to manage it better. And then they were like, "No, I don't know anybody." Or some people were like, "Yes, I do know somebody. Can I call you now?" I was like, "No," because I'm doing this text campaign. But you need to manage it so that when you send out the first one, then whatever they respond to you, the next one should be like, I'm in business, I'm doing real estate, things are going good. Do you know anybody that's willing to buy or sell? They're going to respond back. Not right now, don't know anybody. Well, could you help me out with my business by sharing my e-business card with your family and friends, or posting it on, your social media? My friend, and you can even write the letter for him. My friend Damaris is a licensed real estate agent in Maryland, DC, and Virginia. please give her a call if you need any help. That'll be help. You know, you just put that on and say, could you post that for me? I had one guy posted it to 4,000 people.
I remember.
So it's just that giving. It's not all at once. It's one step, next step, next step. But you got to manage your crowd. Don't do it the way I did it. I sent it to everybody at once, not expecting that everybody will respond, but people will respond to text messages.
Great job. Okay, so you guys covered one, and that one was texting your sphere of influence and sending your virtual business card. What's the other two?
I know the answer. I'm not gonna say anything.
Well,
So one,
Okay.
okay. So another one is handwriting a note to everybody and sending your physical business card with the note.
You got it. Okay, great job, Dee. And what was the third one?
Updating your constant contacts with the information that you just got. So, you know, if they send you back the email, you know, right away, put it into your constant contacts along with their birthday.
You got it. So every single person that we know whose birthday we have should be in our birthday campaign and constant contact. Okay. And also in somehow Google, if you save the person's birthday one time in your phone and have it to remind you annually, Google will put their birthday on your calendar so that you can send them a yearly birthday reminder. And people really feel valued when they know that you thought enough about them to reach out to them and say happy birthday. Okay. So that's why we want to get people's birthdays, because we can imagine how many people's birthdays we're missing because we don't have them saved. So just to kind of avoid that, to reach out to them, to make them feel valued and let them know that you care and you're thinking about them. And then also to have them to think about you when it comes to real estate. That's going to serve both of those purposes. Okay. So that was all three of them. You guys did a great recap there. This next slide, we won't get a chance to continue with everything else today. We'll pick it up next week, but these were some of the things we want to do to nurture our sphere of influence. So we talked about reaching out and doing those three things. And then on an ongoing basis, we want to continue to nurture them. So this is not going to be a one and done, meaning, you know, text, having that conversation back and forward, mailing them a note and putting them in constant contact and forgetting about them. This is going to be an ongoing thing, because your sphere of influence will be a perpetual source of referrals for you. So even after you finish that, you still want to make sure that you're reaching out to 10 people a day. So if that's 5 calls and 5 text messages, that suffices. If you want to do 10 calls, that's fine. But either way, you want to reach out to people every single day from your sphere of influence, and you're just having conversations with people. They can be quick conversations, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes. You may find out somebody just had a baby, they're having a baby shower, or whatever the case is, but you want to make sure that you are just reaching out to your sphere of influence, because they will give you referrals when you are social within your sphere. Okay, so another thing is holiday cards. There are so many different holidays in the year. Every person should be in constant contact. But then also, if you guys are able to physically send out holiday cards, and if you're able to physically send out birthday cards, then those are even more special. All right? So constant contact, we've already went over that several times, but so they should be within your campaigns. So you're sending them birthday cards, you're sending them holiday greetings and all of these things in constant contact as well. But then they should also be included in your marketing information. So your newsletter, your real estate information that pertains to buyers and sellers and recipes, home improvements and social events. There should be kind of a diverse mix of things that's included in your 33 touch marketing campaign that you're sending out to people. And every person that you add to your constant contact should be added to that campaign as well. All right. So then one of the things.
Jasmine?
Yes.
Jasmine, I think you walked right over it. Talk a little bit more about the 33 touches.
Gotcha. So in terms, I actually want to spend a lot more time on that. And I know that we only have It's about time for us to get off, but I will go ahead and talk through what that looks like. So everybody in your sphere of influence should be receiving something from you. So they should be receiving something from you at least every other week. They should also be receiving something from you every month. So every month that you're sending them something, you should be sending them a newsletter every month, but they should also get other marketing information from you every other week. So some information could pertain to information that's relevant to buyers, some that's relevant to homeowners that just include home improvement, and some for people that are ready to sell. And then that's the healthy mix of, or diversity in terms of recipes and social events and things that are going on. You want to include things like that because you know how many emails we get, and when they're from people we know, we're a lot less likely to just spam them. So the purpose is for your sphere of influence to keep you top of mind because you've done a lot to connect and reconnect with them. And once you do, they need to start seeing information from you on a regular basis so that you remain relevant to them. And when they think about real estate, they won't have to disappoint you like we talked about with people that we know who end up purchasing from someone else because they haven't heard from us. But they will actually think about you first because you have them included in your marketing campaign. So they're receiving those emails from you on an ongoing basis. And then you're reaching out to them. You're reaching out to them with phone calls and text messages and mailers and cards and all of those different things. So this is very much nurturing the people that are going to give you the best return on your investment in terms of the quality of leads that you get from your sphere of influence. They're direct referrals.
So guys, what I want, really what I was trying to get at, Jasmine, is one of the most important things I learned a long time ago is that 33 touch rule. And the concept simply means, guys, uh, you want to, each individual in your sphere of contacts, and you, to pick Curtis, you got a whole lot of touches to do. I have a whole lot more, but you want to touch them at least 33 times in a year. And so that's a lot of touches. That's a lot of calls and text messages and, you know, how you doing and whatever, just thinking about you, you know, those type of things. Those are all touches. And what's happening is you're moving yourself up in their social life just by sending out touches. So if they get an email, then they get a text message, they get a phone call, they get, you know, um, they get a happy birthday, happy 4th of July, Merry Christmas, happy Kwanzaa, whatever. You know, those are all touches. So just think about that. I mean, it's a really powerful concept. And when you're sitting around saying, I don't have anything to do, you have tons of things that you need to be doing to work on your business. And you're really not going to be successful if you don't take advantage of these statistically proven facts like the 33 touch rule. It's a lot of work, but you just got to start to be creative. Like what's the best way for me to touch as many people so that it feels personal, but it's not difficult to manage. And we have a ton of techniques that we can teach you guys on how to make sure that that's happening.
Okay. So in terms of calendars and appreciation events, those things they're kind of self-explanatory in the sense that just like you would send out a holiday card at the beginning of the year, it's really effective when you send out like a calendar or a sports calendar. Because why? People are going to use that probably every day. So, and even if they don't look at it every day, they're going to walk past it. People put calendars up. Very rarely have I ever thrown a calendar away that I've received in the mail. All right. So it also puts your face in front of them and you've given them something of value. And then something as small as an appreciation event, those are times when you can just do like hors d'oeuvres or, you know, something like that for your sphere of influence. And you can even partner with one of your Porterhouse colleagues. And just if you choose to do it at a restaurant, if you choose to do it at a place that you rent out, if you choose to do it at your home, wherever you choose to do your client appreciation event, it's something where you give back to your clients. So, you know, as the holidays approach, we think about Thanksgiving. We think about pies and we think about, stuff like that. If you wanted to do an appreciation event where you had a designated time where if it were a house, it would be an open house, but because it's your appreciation event for your sphere of influence, you just designate a time where it's something that you've already decided that you're going to give to the people that attend, then those type of things too, they get you referrals. Okay, so just think about those things, be creative, and do not be afraid to reach out to the people that you know, because they are going to give you the best leads. Those referrals, as we said in the beginning, that's a 50% conversion rate on referrals. So just move forward with the 3 things that we talked about. And as usual, I'm going to go ahead and do a soft close because we're a couple minutes past 3:30, and I do realize that some people are dual career, and if you have to go, I want to allow you to go ahead and jump off.
It's 1:30.
1:30. Apologies. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. I really appreciate being able to be on the calls with you all 2 days of the week. It keeps me motivated. Thank you so much.
You are so welcome. And thank you for participating. Does anybody have any questions with regards to anything that we've covered today?
So, I'm not sure if someone else is about to speak. This is Damaris. Sorry about the basketball in the background. My little brother's at camp. But I don't have a question, but I wanted to thank you, Mr. Porter and Ms. Porter, for clearing up my confusion with the text. Actually, I do have a question. You said that you have a template, like a script for text messages. Do you have one for each of the 3 that you had told me?
Yes,
or do you just have?
yes, and I'm gonna send them. To everybody on the call today.
Okay. Well, that's my question, but thank you, because I was like really confused at first. So thank you for the clarity.
You
I
got
have
it.
more detailed notes because of that.
That's what we're here for.
And I want you to take your starting point. So, Damaris, do you know how many people are in your contacts? If not, I want you to take a look at it because that's your starting point from today. And then after you reach out to people and you add people to, your book of business on a weekly basis, that's your baseline. And then you want to continue to grow from there.
Okay. I don't know, but I can check really quickly.
Okay. And I'm only asking, the number really doesn't matter. I'm just asking for the sake of you knowing, hearing yourself say it, and you being accountable to yourself. So if you're at, 50, if you're at 100, wherever you are this week, next week you shouldn't be at that same place.
Okay. I'm at 245. I'm actually surprised I'm even that high. But okay. I'm at 245.
You got it.
So I have 245 people to send a text message out to.
Okay. So every single week you should be growing that. So reaching out to people, having contact with them, and adding them to your phone as well as your constant contact campaign.
Okay, I will. One thing I wanted to add earlier when you was asking everyone, I guess, what is their, I can't remember what the question was, but I remember what my response would have been had I spoken earlier. And for me, social media has been a great place for people to contact me. I had took a long time to finally make my social media, my business page on Instagram and Facebook. And when I did, I received so much love and support, and just people were posting my page. People that I wouldn't even think would support me were posting my page on their stories. And like a lot of people were reaching out to me through social media. That's something I wish I would have did a long time ago. I still haven't mastered being on social media as much as I should, and I will. But that's a great place to get a lot of your leads and contacts through social media. Something I wanted to mention earlier.
And I want to second that because if you have 240 something people in your phone, but you're connected to 1,000 people on social media, those are also people that are in your sphere. Because all you have to do is write one message to get their contact information, or just look on their page. Ask them. People like Shay said, people like realtors. People love real estate. People love receiving information about, the market, and they like to hear what possibilities and opportunities are available to them. Because just like I was about to say, Shay Curtis told the person that he met, it's not just about lifestyle things. It's about assets and adding to your portfolio, things that are going to make you money over time. So that's the service that we provide to people. So we really add value. So you got to know what your value proposition is and what things that you add that truly, truly benefit people's lives. So just know that you're coming from a place that you have something that people really need and you can really help to change their lives. So just be confident when you share information with people and confident that they are, they're going to be receptive to receiving